A single crow sits on an old wooden fence post in the early morning light. Its dark, round eye locks onto your face and holds steady. That stare is not casual. Most people walk past crows every single day without giving them a second thought near the stone path. But that crow just captured a detailed photograph of your entire face. Not a vague impression at all. A precise image locked inside a brain, no bigger than a walnut. The crow tilts its head on the stone ledge and blinks once slowly. And the unsettling part is what happens next. That crow sitting on the garden gate is about to tell every other crow in this entire area exactly who you are today. Right now, crows perched on fence rails and tall tree trunks are holding conversations about specific individual humans. They discuss who is safe and who should be watched closely. A crow perches on a cracked stone wall near a park bench. People stroll past without noticing, but the crow above is memorizing every single face one by one. Scientists confirmed what ancient cultures knew for centuries. Crows perched near stone walls have facial recognition so advanced it rivals the memory systems found inside the human brain itself. A crow lands on a thick mossy trunk and watches a man walking his dog near a low stone border. That man has never harmed a crow in his life. But crows sitting along the iron fence still remember his face clearly, not because they saw anything themselves. Other crows told them what happened near the stone path years ago. This is not folklore or mere exaggeration at all. Published research from major universities proved crows share enemy faces across entire populations and pass that knowledge through multiple generations. A young crow perched on a rusted garden gate has never once met you. It hatched only 2 seasons ago, but it already knows your face because its parents taught it. A bird that has never seen you before can recognize your face on sight from a fence post. Your reputation among local crows may have started before that bird was even born. 2 crows sit together on a telephone wire above a quiet suburban street. One lets out sharp calls toward the wooden fence below. The other tilts its head and listens carefully. That exchange was not random noise near the stone wall. It was a targeted briefing. One crow described a specific human to the other using vocal patterns researchers are beginning to decode. This video explains how crows build detailed facial profiles near stone walls and iron gates, how they share those profiles widely, and what it truly means when one watches you. A crow watches from a branch near an iron grave marker in an old churchyard. Its feathers catch fading light as it studies every person entering through the gate. By the end of this video, you will never see crows the same way. Once you understand what they do from the fence post, you realize they understood you first. Most people believe crows are just simple scavengers fighting over scraps near stone curbs and trash bins. That assumption is dangerously wrong, and crows prove it every single day. A large crow drops from a brick chimney ledge onto a wooden garden fence and scans the yard below. It spots a familiar face and shifts its posture to full alert. That reaction was not instinct at all. It was a judgment call based on stored facial data passed between crows through vocal communication near this stone wall in just 2 seconds. To understand how a crow remembers your face, you need to understand the brain doing the remembering. It is not the simple organ most people near the fence imagine. A crow stands on a flat river stone beside a shallow stream. Inside that skull is a brain packed with more neurons per square inch than most mammals on Earth. Crows belong to the corvid family alongside ravens and magpies and jays. Corvids on fence posts and trunk branches outperform dogs, cats, and even some primates on intelligence tests. A crow perches on a weathered wooden sign outside a nature reserve. It picks up a stick and bends it into a hook to reach food inside a narrow tube. That is tool manufacturing. The crow designed a custom tool for a specific purpose near that wooden sign. Only a small handful of species on the entire planet can do that. But tool use is just the beginning of the story. The ability that makes crows remarkable is their capacity to recognize, remember, and tag individual human faces near stone walls. A crow on a stone bench armrest studies a woman tossing breadcrumbs. It does not see a generic human shape. It sees her specific features and unique facial geometry. Researchers proved this with a landmark experiment near a chain-link fence. They captured wild crows while wearing a very specific rubber mask over their faces during the capture process. A crow grips a metal fence rail watching a researcher walk past. The researcher shows a neutral face. The crow stays calm on the rail without any visible reaction. But when a different researcher walks past wearing the rubber mask used during the original capture, the crow on the fence erupts into loud aggressive alarm calls aimed at the mask. The study found crows scolded that dangerous mask for over 5 years after a single encounter near the iron gate. 5 years of sustained anger from 10 minutes of fear. A crow watches from a high stone window ledge above a busy sidewalk. Hundreds of people pass each hour. The crow is not overwhelmed. It is sorting and filtering. Research shows crows perched near stone walls process faces using the same brain region humans use, an area that evolved to distinguish one face from another inside a moving crowd. A crow perches on a cracked plaque near a university building. Students walk past in groups. The crow watches one student who once threw a rock near a nest. That student has no idea he is being tracked across the entire campus from fence post to tree trunk by multiple crows who all recognize his face on sight each day. This is where things become truly extraordinary. Crows do not keep enemy data to themselves on the branch. They broadcast it loudly to every single crow within hearing distance. A crow on a metal gate post lets out harsh calls. Within seconds, 3 more crows arrive from nearby trunk perches and join the scolding chorus above the fence. None of those 3 arriving crows were present during the original event at the stone wall. They came because they were told the vocal alarm identified a specific human threat. A pair of crows huddle on a thick tree trunk covered in moss. One makes a low rolling call while the other watches a jogger pass the fence corner. Studies confirmed crows recruit allies against a specific human without those allies witnessing the original offense near the iron gate. The information transfers through vocal communication alone every time, and it does not stop with one generation on the garden fence. Parent crows teach their offspring which human faces are dangerous. The young learn to fear on command. A juvenile crow sits beside its mother on a low fence near a stone bird bath. The mother spots a face below and begins scolding loudly. The juvenile joins in immediately. That juvenile just inherited a permanent enemy, not through genetics, but through parental instruction near the trunk. The mother taught her young child to fear that specific face on sight. Your relationship with crows extends far beyond the individual birds you have met near the fence post. It includes their children, their neighbors, and crows you will never even see. Now you understand what crows can do. It is time to learn how they do it. The mechanism behind crow facial recognition near every stone wall is deeply sophisticated. A crow stands on a stone bird bath rim in a quiet backyard garden. Inside its skull, a structure called the nidopallium caudolateral is firing at full capacity right at this moment. That structure near the fence is the crow equivalent of the human prefrontal cortex. It handles decision-making and future planning. Most importantly, it processes all facial recognition data. When a crow on a fence post sees a human face, visual data travels through specialized neural pathways to this center. The entire scan takes less than half a second. A crow tilts its head on a wooden fence rail and fixes one eye on a passing stranger. That tilt is not curiosity. It is a scanning technique for maximum detail. Crows have lateralized vision. Each eye sends data to the opposite brain hemisphere. By tilting on the trunk branch, they capture the highest resolution image with their dominant eye. A crow near a brick chimney looks down at a mailman opening a garden gate. The crow shifts its head 3 times, 3 angles, 3 data captures, 1 complete profile. That profile for the crow includes face shape and distance between the eyes. It records nose structure, jawline, and distinguishing marks like glasses near the stone path, all stored instantly. A crow grips a stone fountain edge and watches 2 women sitting on a park bench nearby. It distinguishes between them instantly. Different faces and different threat levels and different memory files. Brain scans reveal threatening faces activate the crow amygdala that controls fear and aggression. Friendly faces activate reward pathways near the iron fence instead. Emotional tagging happens without effort. A crow on an iron cemetery fence sees a familiar groundskeeper walking the gravel path. The reward pathway fires. That groundskeeper leaves food scraps near the stone compost pile. When a teenager who once chased crows enters through the cemetery gate, the amygdala fires instantly. Fear and anger flood the entire system before the teenager even looks up at all. Two different humans near the stone wall trigger two different neural responses. The crow does not treat all people the same. It builds a personalized emotional file for each face. A crow on a garden plaque watches a neighbor water flowers through the window glass. That woman feeds crows every morning. Her file reads safe and generous approach freely. Here's where communication becomes remarkable near the garden fence. When a crow encounters a known threat, it activates a full coordinated neighborhood alarm system across the entire local area. A crow on a wooden pole spots the dangerous masked researcher near a stone wall. It launches into a scolding call that carries over 300 meters in open air. Every crow within that radius perched on fence posts and tree trunks hears the call and understands the meaning. Danger from a specific human at this location. Respond now quickly. A swarm of crows circles above a confused pedestrian near a stone bench. He changed his jacket and hat recently, but he did not change the one thing that matters. His face was unchanged. Researchers confirmed near the iron gate that clothing changes do not trick crows at all. The same mask with different outfits produced the same aggressive response. A crow perches on a wooden sign near a quiet trailhead watching a hiker adjust her backpack straps. The crow remains still and calm. Her face is not in the threat database. The network near the stone wall is not limited to alarms about enemies. Crows share positive information too. A crow discovering a generous human recruits others to that food source. A crow on a low stone wall watches an old man scatter peanuts across a path. Within 5 minutes, 14 crows arrive from distant fence posts to feed together. None of those crows saw the man place food near the stone path. They came because one crow announced the opportunity. His face is filed as a reliable provider. A crow on a mossy trunk produces a soft, warbling call, different from the harsh scolding used near the gate. This call means safety and generosity. Come and eat. Two call types carry two different meanings near the iron fence. Threat broadcasts and opportunity broadcasts. Crows maintain a social information network like a neighborhood watch run by birds. A juvenile on a wooden fence post hears scolding from its parent on a nearby stone wall. It looks toward the identified human and memorizes that face on first exposure. That learning near the gate is instant. One scolding session from a parent creates a permanent facial file in the juvenile brain. No repeated exposure required. One lesson only. 4 crows line up along a wooden garden fence near a stone bird bath. The parents call sharply. The juveniles listen. A woman walks below. All 4 go silent. She is in the neutral file for the crow. No strong positive, no negative flag, just a face to monitor from the trunk branch without alarm or approach in the system. This detail should make every person reconsider how they treat crows near the garden fence. You're already in the system. Every local crow has likely cataloged your face. A crow on a brick chimney top surveys the entire neighborhood below. It knows every resident, every dog walker, and every mail carrier who passes the stone wall each single morning. It built that database over months of observation from fence posts and shared intelligence from crows on nearby trunks. Each face carries a permanent behavioral tag in the network. A crow drops from a wire onto a stone garden border and caches food in the soil. It chose this spot because the homeowner is tagged as safe in the system. That trust near the iron gate took time. The homeowner never chased crows or disturbed nests nearby. The crows noticed every detail. They always notice. They never stop watching. Crows remember your face and share your identity with birds on every fence and stone wall. But many believe this ability carries meaning far deeper than biology can explain. A crow sits on an ancient stone wall at the edge of a misty field. Across nearly every culture, the crow has been regarded as a messenger from unseen worlds. In Celtic tradition, crows on sacred stone markers were guardians of hidden knowledge. They appeared at crossroads not as scavengers but as witnesses carrying messages between the living and dead. A crow perches on a weathered grave marker in a country cemetery. Many traditions hold that the crow carries prayers upward and brings wisdom back down for those who listen. In Hindu tradition, crows near temple stone walls are linked to ancestral spirits. Feeding crows during the Pitru Paksha period is believed to nourish departed family members in spirit. A crow watches from a tall iron fence outside an old stone church. In Japanese folklore, the crow is a divine messenger sent to guide lost travelers toward the right path. Across West Africa, many communities regard the crow on a wooden gate as a creature seeing beyond the visible world. Its sharp eye reads not just faces, but spiritual energy. A crow perches on a wooden window frame and stares inside at a family eating dinner. In many folk traditions, a crow watching your home is a protective presence standing guard. Now consider what science confirmed near every studied fence post and stone wall. Crows do watch specific people. They do remember faces. They do communicate about individuals on purpose. A crow on a low tree trunk tilts its head toward a woman walking through a park at dawn near the stone fountain. She has noticed this crow following her for weeks. Many people over 50 report this experience near garden gates and stone paths. A specific crow that follows them and watches at moments that feel far too deliberate for coincidence. A crow lands on a fence post near a garden shed and calls 3 times toward the stone border. In many traditions, 3 calls from a crow are a direct personal message. Whether you interpret this through science or spirit near the old stone wall, the conclusion stays the same. Crows choose who they watch and who they communicate about on purpose. A crow rests on a stone bench beside a quiet pond and watches an elderly man with his morning tea near the iron gate. He has fed this crow for 3 years. That crow recognizes his face every morning near the stone bench. It arrives before he does. It waits in the same spot. It greets him with a call reserved only for him. That is not random crow behavior near a garden fence. That is a relationship built on trust, consistency, and mutual recognition. 2 different species who chose each other across the divide. A crow perches on a wooden birdhouse, surveying the yard near the stone wall. People who build positive bonds with crows often report small gifts left on doorsteps and windowsills. Shiny buttons, small polished stones, and tiny pieces of colored glass appear near the garden fence. Crows bring these objects to humans they trust. Researchers call it reciprocal gift exchange. A crow drops a small white pebble onto a wooden fence rail near a stone path and flies away. An offering, a token, a sign that this human has been chosen. In many belief systems, receiving a gift from a crow near a garden gate is a blessing, a confirmation that someone beyond the visible realm is watching over you with care. A crow on a cracked stone step near a garden gate watches a woman emerge from her front door. She smiles and places a small bowl of water beside the step. The crow drinks as the woman watches from the window. This ritual near the stone step has repeated every morning for 2 years, 2 beings sharing trust and quiet recognition. This is what many people miss about crows on fence posts and stone walls. They are not pests. They are among the most socially intelligent wild animals interacting with humans. A crow watches from a high branch above a stone garden wall. It has observed this neighborhood longer than most residents have lived here. It knows every face and every pattern. Next time a crow looks at you from a fence post or stone wall, understand what is happening. You're being scanned, evaluated, and filed into a living database. A crow stands on a wooden gate latch near a stone step and watches a man lock his door. That crow will remember his face long after the man forgets. Your face is stored in minds of crows on fence rails and stone walls you never noticed. Your reputation among them exists right now without your knowledge or your permission. A crow perches on a rusted iron rail outside a building and scans the parking lot near the stone curb. Every person walking to their car is log tagged and shared. If you have ever been kind to a crow near a garden fence, that kindness is recorded. Crows near your home know you're safe. They may bring young to feed. A crow sits on a stone wall near a school playground watching children run past the iron gate. It knows which children throw food and which ones throw rocks. If you have ever harmed a crow or disturbed a nest near the tree trunk, that action is also recorded. The crows will scold you and dive at you. A crow on a tall fence post screams in alarm as a teenager walks past the stone wall. Other crows appear from distant branches and join the loud harassment above. The crows know why near that iron gate. Something happened once years ago. The record of that event has been passed through the entire local crow population, and it stays. A crow drops onto a wooden bench near a stone path and tilts its head at an elderly couple sharing a sandwich. No alarm sounds. These two are in the safe file. You have a choice right now near your garden fence or stone wall. Ignore crows and let your file build passively, or actively build a bond with brilliant creatures. A crow watches from a trunk as a woman places unsalted peanuts on a flat stone near her porch. The crow waits until she steps back inside her door to eat. Within a week, that crow brings others to the stone near the fence. Within a month, the local population knows her face. Within a year, a flock greets her daily. A crow on a low fence rail watches a man walk past the stone wall without looking up. That man missed an opportunity. The crow was studying him and deciding. Every interaction with a crow near a garden gate or stone path is being recorded. Every kindness, every cruelty, and every moment of indifference. They track and share everything. A crow perches on a stone pillar at the entrance of a garden path. It watches and waits and remembers. Other crows nearby are already discussing what it saw today. You're being watched by an intelligence most people underestimate from fence posts and stone walls. The crow above your street knows your face better than some neighbors do.